Good morning. Welcome to the virtual worship service for the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale. My name is Pam Romancic and my pronouns are she and hers. As Unitarian Universalists, you might ask, why do we celebrate the story of Christmas? Well, for some of us, it is to honor the story of the only Son of God come to save the world. And that belief is both present and very welcome here. For others, the culture in which we live tells this story over and over, so it has become part of our consciousness, if not our belief, and we gather to experience it once again. The story of Christmas, of Jesus' birth, is very old, but it is made new with the birth of every child. And so it is right for us to tell this story over and over and over again, as it has been through generations of believers and seekers and those who marvel at the essential spiritual truths nestled in this sacred stories. I invite you now, come, let us journey together through this ancient tale. I'm going to start with a reading by Margaret Gooding titled, Why Not a Star? And Pam Fodor is going to read it with me. We start. They told me that when Jesus was born, a star appeared in the heavens above the place where the young child lay.
When I was very young, I had no trouble believing wondrous things. I believed in the star.
It was a wonderful miracle, part of a long ago story foretelling an uncommon life.
They told me a supernova appeared in the heavens in its dying burst of fire.
When I was older and believed in science and reason, I believed the story of the star explained.
But I found I was unwilling to give up the star, fitting symbol for the birth of one whose uncommon life has been long remembered.
The star explained became the star understood for Jesus, for Buddha, for Zarathustra.
Why not a star? Some bright stars shine somewhere in the heavens each time a child is born.
Who knows what it may foretell? Who knows what uncommon life may yet unfold if we but give it a chance?
Welcome everyone to our Zoom pageant. My name is Pam Fodor and I'm happy to be with you here this morning to share with you our first ever Zoom Christmas pageant. Each of the players in this pageant has been selected in secret to play their parts, so you just don't know who might turn up as Mary or Joseph or an angel or even a donkey. And what's even more fun is that our players have had to create their own costumes at home out of whatever they could find. If you'd like, you can switch your computer, if you know how, to speaker view. It might make it a little bit easier for you to see our wonderful cast. Now, it's also important to remember that the purpose of our telling this story is to journey together in community, adopting the spirit of goodwill and play, and therefore nothing can go wrong. There are no mistakes. So let's begin. We're going to tell a story that we may have heard before. It is a story about a baby born long ago, but it could be the story about a baby being born at this very moment. Each time this story is told, we reconnect with the history of thousands of ancestors who have kept it alive, a timeless tale. It begins in a city far, far away from here called Rome, where there lived an emperor named Caesar Augustus. He ruled over almost the entire world. One day, the emperor called together his advisors and said,
I need more money to fund my armies. Send out soldiers to all the lands. They must tell the people that no matter where they are now, they must journey back to the town where they were born. And everyone must sign their name in a big book and then pay me a tax.
Paying taxes, ugh. Who among us likes to pay taxes, let alone to have to travel a long distance to do so? But we know that our taxes can support some very good things like educating our young, keeping our roads drivable, creating a safety net for the most vulnerable amongst us. We do it because it helps keep our country strong. We also support this church for the same reasons. And while it may not be the most favorite part of being a member, your generous pledges and donations help us support so much good work in this church, like supporting our youth and helping offer them guidance on how to be thoughtful and engaged humans as they grow up in the world, supporting so many of our programs by providing space to gather and the tools needed to remain in community, even during pandemic times. And then there's the amazing work of our social justice circle and how they do such good things for the environment, for animals, for the world, for supporting people in prison, and so much more. This seems as good a time as any to remind all citizens of this land and anybody watching with us today that we can't continue the good work of this community without your generous support. Please don't forget to send in your pledge checks to the church office or click the donate button on our website to help support our church and its mission. Thank you.
Now, in the land of Galilee, which was under Caesar's rule, there was a man named Joseph who had been born in a town called Bethlehem. So following Caesar's order, Joseph had to go back to Bethlehem and take his wife, Mary, with him. Bethlehem was very, very far from Galilee, making this journey a difficult one for Joseph and Mary, especially because Mary was pregnant. And as someone who has been pregnant, let me tell you, long journeys are very difficult when your body's growing a small human inside it. So Mary sat carefully, riding on a donkey, which Joseph led through the countryside. Mary and Joseph, two people venturing out into the world on a long journey, carrying precious cargo, uncertain of what they would find.
Let's pause our story and reflect on all those who embark on uncertain journeys, refugees, immigrants, friends, neighbors, family members. And then let us join our voices at home with our opening hymn, which is O Little Town of Bethlehem.
My eyes are cracked. I have one. Once Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem, they found many others had also traveled there. In fact, so many people had returned to the town that all the inns were full. The couple went door to door through the town, knocking and asking for a room. But each time they were turned away, Mary began to lose hope.
Joseph, we're never going to find a place to stay. And I'm so tired and sore from our long journey. The people who could help us don't, because their hearts are closed. Whatever shall we do?
Don't worry, Mary. We won't give up. Someone will be good enough to find us a place to stay. There has to be an open heart in Bethlehem.
And Joseph was right. Eventually, they came to an inn where they found help. There were no rooms available, but the innkeeper offered Mary and Joseph a warm, dry place in her stable where they could rest for the night. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was a safe place where Mary and Joseph could rest. And as it happened, that very night, Mary had her baby. She gave birth to her son named Jesus. There in the stable where they were surrounded by animals who were the first to see the little baby enter the world. One of the animals was the donkey Mary had ridden on to get to Bethlehem.
Just look at this beautiful child. What a blessing to the world the birth of a child is. For each child who is born has the power to change the ways, small and big. Each child is a new interpretation of the divine. Each child is made of stardust and carries with them all the promise of the future as well as the present. What a gift to behold this miraculous moment.
What a gift to behold. So the animals made space for Jesus in their home. He was laid in their manger where they ate their hay, and all the animals recognized that they were now part of his story as he was part of theirs, woven together in an interconnected web of life. Let us reflect on the ways our own stories are connected with all living things as we receive a gift of music from John Cooper Ryder as he sings Jesus, Our Brother.
Jesus, our brother, kind and good, was humbly born in a stable rude, and the friendly beasts all round him stood. Jesus, our brother, kind and good. I said the donkey shaggy and brown, I carried his mother up hill and down, I carried her safely to Bethlehem town. I said the donkey shaggy and brown. I said the cow all white and red, I gave him my manger for his bed, I gave him hay to pillow his head. I said the cow all white and red. I said the sheep with curly horn, I gave him my wool as a blanket warm. He wore my coat on Christmas morn. I said the sheep with curly horn. And all the beasts by some good spell in the stable dark were glad tell of the gifts they gave Emmanuel, of the gifts they gave Emmanuel, of the gifts they gave Emmanuel.
Mary and Joseph had a big responsibility. They were new parents. Like so many new parents are even today, they were filled with excitement and love and fear in equal measure.
Joseph, I have never been so in love with anything in all my life. Look at our beautiful child. But far from home, in a stable. I don't know how we're going to take care of our child. Where will we get the things that we need for him? The night is getting colder and colder.
Many people in our world today know that fear, know the fear of the cold growing upon them. They know people that don't have enough food or clothing or even a place to live, especially right now. There are people in our world today who do not feel safe to be themselves, whose inherent worth and dignity are not honored the way they deserve to be. In our faith tradition, we hold that one of the purposes of our religion is to work to amend these injustices. As Mary and Joseph sat worrying in the stable, above them began to shine a star so bright that it could be seen by many and call them to this new family. As we receive the gifts of music from the Budziat family, performing the first Noel, I'm going to light our chalice to remind us that each of us carries the light of justice and love in our hearts. And if you have a chalice to light at home, we invite you to do yours now.
The star, which was shining over the stable where our Holy Family were taking shelter, sent its sparkling light far out across the fields beyond Bethlehem, where shepherds were watching over their flocks of sheep. The shepherds took note of the star, as we just heard in the song, and they were amazed.
Wow, what a brilliant star. I've never seen anything like it. I wonder what it means for a star to appear so suddenly and so brightly. Surely this isn't normal. It has to be a message of some sort. But what could the message be? And why are we shepherds receiving this message?
Oh, do not be afraid, shepherds. I am an angel come to tell you of wonderful news. On this night in the town of Bethlehem, a child has been born who will change the world forever. His story will be told for thousands of years, and his love will touch thousands of people. He will remind us each that we can be saviors in this world, that boundless love resides in each of us. Won't you come to honor this child and his parents?
Certainly we will come. But why us shepherds?
Why not you? Do you not take care of your sheep most tenderly, keeping them safe in the dark nights and seeking the ones who get lost? Why not come and show your care and tenderness to this new family?
Why not you? Why not us? Unitarian Universalism calls us to be caring. It challenges us to show up and to be present for others when we are needed. It challenges us to show up for ourselves as well. So let us listen to the angels and follow where they ask us to go. Here's a carol for you to enjoy or sing along with.
The shepherds arrived at the stable, and Mary and Joseph were quite surprised to see them. Why had these people come? The shepherds told Mary and Joseph about the star over the stables and the angel which had summoned them, and the new parents were amazed. The birth of their child was not just sacred to them, it was precious to others as well. The shepherds told Mary and Joseph, and everyone else they saw, that the angels had promised that Jesus' story would be told through the ages, that his love would change the world. Mary stored up these treasured words in her heart.
The way these other people are supporting me and my family with affirmations and celebration is a blessing. I don't know how to be a parent. I don't know if I will always do what is right because I am only human and just as likely to mess up as anyone else. I will sometimes be too frustrated with my son, too harsh on him and on myself, and I will always be worried about getting things right. But I hear the reassurance of my community, and my heart lightens. I am an imperfect person, but my love is constant. I will hold the promise of my son's future close to my heart always, empowered by the love and support of others when things feel difficult or overwhelming.
The shepherds offered Mary and Joseph wool cloaks to keep warm and swaddle the little baby Jesus. They cared for the family in the stable, while above, the star continued to shine brightly. Far away to the east, 3 wise, royal people saw this shining star and knew it was part of a prophecy they had been told, that a precious child would be born in the town of Bethlehem and change the world forever with their love. So the wise people packed up gifts they had been saving for this very occasion and sent off to Bethlehem.
We have followed the star which heralds the promise of great love. The gifts we offer you are to honor the power of this love, a love which extends to all, no matter where they come from, what religion they practice, what color their skin, no matter who they love or how they create a family.
This all-encompassing love is the most divine thing in the world, and it exists in the soul of this little baby. So we shall nurture it and help it grow.
We can enjoy that each person making that journey was guided by faith. They trusted the star. It's a powerful thing to have faith and to trust deeply, even when that trust is called into question. I know in this community, we too have faith in love and the power of an all-encompassing love that can sustain us in our work. Let us reflect on the faithful journey of these wise people and our own work as Jamie offers us the gift of music with We Three Kings of Orient Are.
And with the gifts offered, the nativity scene is complete. Mary and Joseph, the stable animals, the shepherds, the angels, and the wise folks all gathered around the sleeping form of little baby Jesus. Now we know that the actual birth of Jesus, some 2,000 years ago, was probably very different to this scene. Perhaps nothing like it at all. Yet this story we tell centers on an enduring truth: the power and possibility of love. This is a story in which community gathers in support and love around a baby, a new family. This is a story in which power struggles are upended as rulers bow before a tiny infant born to the most ordinary people in a most unlikely place at an inconvenient hour. This story still offers us wonder as we reflect on the ways it lives on in us today. We celebrate the blessing of each of our births and the love in which we are held in this community.
I invite you now, look around at all the faces gathered here today in our little screens. I'll give you a moment now to go to gallery view so you can just look and see everyone and admire all the folks that are here with us this morning. How loving they are, how they have shown up to be with you for this very special telling of an ancient story. Look at how their eyes shine and know that they are filled with this sacred love promised to us by this ancient tale. As you smile at each other, I invite you to say these words after me. We will guide you and let you guide us in love. Please say it with me. We will guide you and let you guide us in love. Isn't it a great joy to be together, even in the midst of the pandemic? We can still share this story. We can still reflect on the blessings of each birth in this community and on how each of us has traveled through our lives to arrive here together under the light of our chalice to celebrate an all-encompassing love. Let us revel in this moment together as we join voices, even though we are far apart, and sing joy to the world.
I would like to thank each of the players for being a part of this marvelous Zoom pageant, bringing us smiles and deep truths with their enthusiastic participation. Thank you to our various musicians and performers who offered their talents to fill this story with song. And thanks to each of you who have joined us today. You are a treasure and a blessing to this community. We close our time together with words from Sophia Faz.
Each night a child is born is a holy night. Parents sitting beside their children's cribs, they feel the glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end, or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Blessed be and amen. As I extinguish our chalice. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. As Pam said, we're grateful for all of our actors, for Jamie, wonderful musicians, and everybody who sent in your pictures that you got there. You sent in your pictures so you could all be a part of our story. It's truly a celebration of community.